Georgia, Texas. Listen, I think Kirby summed it up at the end, Brent, and we'll go into all the details of it, but I think he summed it up at the end, man. He finally had some reason to be doubted. He finally had some reason to back his guys in the corner, and nobody picked us, and he ain't been able to do this in a long time. They haven't been an underdog on the road since 2020. So I think that's why you saw the best version of Georgia, and specifically their defense, dude. Their defense, they were ridiculous. And here's why. Michael Williams looks fully healthy. Jalen Walker looks like a dog. By the way, when you look at Damon Wilson coming off the edge, starting to come on the outside, you look at Warren Brinson, who was making plays left and right. They're getting healthy, and they look like a unit that we thought they would be, and Georgia dominated this freaking football game.
It's amazing that we're talking about the insanity of this game when neither team had 300 yards and there were 7 turnovers. But
yeah,
the athletes on the field and just the nature of what you saw with these games. But by the way, nobody doubted them. We kind of picked them. And the reason we picked them was the matchup. And that one of the things, like looking at this game for me, was one, I think Texas is better with Arch. I don't think, and two, they couldn't, to me, run the ball effectively between the tackles. And when you can't do that against Georgia and you don't have the QB athlete or the other athletes to get outside, then, it's hard to do things against them offensively. And it showed massively in this game.
I want you to save all that because I've been around football a long time, and I love the game of football, and it is an imperfect game, and refs are imperfect. But what the funk was that? Like, I've never seen that in all my years of college football. It was called PI on the field. It was announced PI on the field.
Yeah.
Texas fans start throwing things on the field left and right, hundreds of bottles of liquid. Like, I don't know what kind of liquid. Okay,
I did see one beer can in a picture near him.
Okay, combination of all kinds. And then you come out after a 4 or 5 minute delay because of that, and you change the call. I've never seen it before in my life. I've been around football a long time. I haven't seen that in youth league football where a call was designated and they took it off. Listen, we can debate whether that was PI, by the way. And I will debate that with you and have a clean debate with you and say what you want. But that was horse crap. That was unacceptable. You cannot make a call on the field and come back and change it. Not when it's a non-reviewable call. Now, listen, when the refs get together and they talk about it, and they haven't declared what it is, sure, you absolutely can do that. That's what usually takes place. Hey, you saw something different. I saw something different. Come together real quick. We'll make a different call. That was bull, man. I've never seen it before in all my years around football.
Or if you see, hey, it was uncatchable. This guy said, and then we're going to pick up the flag. It wasn't catchable. Things like that. No, I have no explanation for that other than fear for their own life. It's just because of where they were. That was amazing.
And so if I'm a fan in any stadium from now on, like, and you don't follow a call, just throw bottles onto the field as fast as you can, get them to delay it, maybe you'll review it. By the way, let's get back to the targeting rules. Like, again, targeting, ruining football, dude. Like, keep guys on the field, man. Like this, give them a 15-yard penalty, so be it, but keep them on the field. We've got to get away from taking players off the field because it's an imperfect situation when you're trying to tackle someone and they duck their head.
Yep.
Like, I can't not target you when you duck your head. And so I think it's, from that point, it's a struggle. But Brent, Carson Beck struggled. He didn't look great out the gates. I think if I'm looking at Georgia and I'm evaluating them honestly on the offensive side of the football, first of all, getting your center back was enormous. Yes. Huge deal. They're better up front. Not surprisingly, they immediately run the football better in this football game. But receivers, I don't think Georgia on the perimeter is consistent enough catching the football, is consistent enough winning out wide to be a consistent offense. I mean, too many drops. Like, what did Kirby just say? Kirby said that, but when the game ended, like 4 drops right off the bat, like to start the football game, bell, like you got to catch the football, man. You got to make plays. And Beck made some mistakes and some big ones. And if you're going to throw the football as much as he's going to continue to do, he's going to do that, but he's also going to make great plays and make big plays for your offense. So I think Georgia looked better running the football tonight than they had, obviously, the past several weeks.
Yeah, it's getting Wilson back was good. No bad snaps, by the way. When you get him back, that's actually impressive. It's one of those things you take for granted. But it's also kind of a, why didn't they run the ball more? Especially when Etienne at certain points in the game looked like the best player on the field. But the part about the QB, I think speaks to both teams, especially if you're a draft evaluator. Like they didn't look like first round QBs tonight at all. And obviously Arch came in for that little bit, and then Ewers started the second half. But it's just both of those guys, when the pressure is dialed up, accuracy goes, decision-making goes, and you see what we saw, 7 turnovers.
Yeah. And by the way, I don't think it mattered who was playing quarterback for Texas. Texas giving up 1 sack coming into this football game. Texas is a good football team. Now, the reason I thought Texas was going to struggle defensively because they are who they are. They're very vanilla. They want to play with 2 high safeties.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a guys that are game wreckers. I thought Georgia would have success because of that, but I thought their offense would be fine. I thought their offense, who's given up 1 sack all year long, quarterback who knows how to get rid of the football, this is the best Georgia's tackled. Like Georgia came up from the secondary position, the linebacker position, tackled well. And listen,
covered well.
Again, if Stafford played quarterback for Texas, if Peyton Manning was playing quarterback for Texas, he had no time.
Yeah.
Like couldn't set his feet, had to drift, and Georgia just kept rotating. Christian Miller was in there making plays.
Brinson made plays. Jalen Walker.
How about to end the game too? You got different guys coming off the edge with Chambliss coming off the edge and making plays like this. Georgia's secondary played better. Their defense played better than I thought they would. They interesting kick to start the second half. I don't know what that was.
Very odd.
I think it was a miss hit, honestly, and a weird play. But got to give credit to Georgia. Texas ain't done by any stretch. I mean, they've got plenty of time left in the season, but they got whipped. They got whipped at home. They got whipped badly. They came back, but that was not a close game. But I think Texas, the rest of the season, if you think they're out of this or they're all of a sudden a bad team, absolutely not. They'll absolutely bounce back, and we'll hear from Texas again.
It's a long season, and as we're seeing with the 12-team part of it, like if we were talking 4 teams right now, it'd be a completely different discussion. But the 12-team part of it makes all this interesting, and it also shows how this year, like we've talked about before, you don't have the one dominant team, and matchups just matter. Alabama was a bad matchup, especially early for Georgia because of Milroe and his ability to run. And this game, much better matchup for Georgia. But what's interesting is we're talking all this about Texas and Georgia. Neither of them are in first place in the SEC. That would be the game that's next week. That's LSU and Texas A&M, who are both still unbeaten in the league. So,
which is further showing you why this is going to get weird. And by the way, Brent, a lot of SEC teams are getting in. I mean, because you're going to sit at home and not play for a championship and still be a 2-loss team, very much in the mix for a playoff spot.